Equal access at its simplest, it's really about giving everyone a fair go, particularly when it comes to the way in which they can spend their own money on and use these new distributed energy resources, so solar panels, batteries, electric vehicle charging technologies. And I think the reason that's so important is that traditionally the industry's very much relied on technically optimized decision making. So you have one boffin engineer sitting in the middle thinking about all the factors that go into delivering electricity securely and at low cost. But that engineer is the person making all the investment decisions. But in this new world, you've got a world where anybody can invest in all of this stuff. And the risk is that we over-regulate and prevent people from being able to spend their own money on the resources that they want to. And what we're really looking at is the emergence of lower cost technologies that individual residential consumers and larger consumers can suddenly invest in order to meet their own power needs in a completely different way. So the obvious example is solar panels. We're starting to see them coming up all over New Zealand. But there are also similar issues around people investing in batteries which they install on their homes, and even people wanting to charge their electric vehicles at home. And all of these technologies which are at the edge of the distribution network, so right downstream in the electricity industry, they're all technologies which potentially can interact with the broader electricity market, and where users could be paid money to offer up the generation that their solar panels create, or the release of the power that's stored in their batteries at times that are useful either to the local network company or even to interact with the energy market. So equal access is sort of two things. The first thing is to make sure that anybody who wants to invest in these technologies and connect them to the networks can do that on exactly the same terms as anyone else. And then the second thing is that where people have these resources and they're of use to other people in the electricity industry, that they can get paid for that and that they know how much they're going to get paid. Going back to the history of the sector, which is one in which the use of electricity has changed very predictably, and so the techniques that the decision makers have used have been based on perfect information and a perfect understanding of what's going on, and a very high degree of accuracy around the forecast about what they're trying to create a power system to meet the needs of in the future. Whereas this is an environment of enormous uncertainty, and I think that's extremely challenging, because of course it means that the companies in the industry who do have responsibilities to ensure the reliability of supply, they need to be able to do that without having perfect knowledge of what demand for the electricity will be, and without having perfect control of all the resources that contribute to reliability. The first thing is around really measuring what's going on at the edge of the distribution networks. At the moment, we're quite blind to what's actually happening at the very lowest level of the electricity networks. Because as soon as we start measuring what's going on there, then we'll start to see whether the way people are using these technologies is causing problems for other network users, and put the distribution companies in a position to be able to start managing that. The other side of it is the commercial side, and that's the thing about people being able to buy and sell energy and energy-related services that are created by these distributed technologies. There's no really sort of perfect design for this yet. You know, elsewhere in the world, people are playing around with this stuff, and I think our advice there has been, well, we probably just need to sort of feel our way through this. So the important thing is that we start trying different ways of allowing people to do business with one another. And through this world of sort of pilots and trials, slowly develop a set of commercial arrangements which ultimately would become something very similar to the wholesale electricity market, which is quite well developed and quite mature now.